Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Season 74 SHL Entry Draft. I am Shirt, your very tired Evans head. If anyone wants the job, you should start DMing me, and I can start showing you how, because I'm going to quit at some point in the foreseeable future. That being said, we have a very exciting draft coming this season, a very big draft class, and a crazy good lineup for this stream. We have HFFO hosting alongside Naomi and Ace, and then we have Shawnee, who is also here. Shawnee obviously will be doing the back-end sheet thing, but also being French and talking to HFFO mostly.
You're French too. What's your point?
Jert's like a good French though, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, so three out of 5 French in here. We came really close to doing the whole draft in French, but I don't want to lose this job just yet. So I'm gonna wait until that point before I piss everyone off. How are you doing, everyone?
Next time, right?
Yeah, probably.
Tell Ma.
All right. I'm doing fantastic. Excited to be part of the draft once again. Was here last time in the J. Now joining for the big time.
And it's
Ooh.
we're very excited to see where you're gonna end up. Everyone is very curious about that big mystery.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna let HFFO lead now because that's his thing, and I'm gonna start focusing on the streaming part.
Yeah, well, I think it's only customary that we lead off the draft by congratulating the S74 champions of the league, the Edmonton Blizzard, S73 champions. Pretty good team.
They're definitely of all the teams, they're one of them.
Their team.
Indeed.
And then, congrats to Nike on the Chicago job. I think he got it like yesterday. So heading to a draft with 1 day to prep it should be fun.
I heard it was a rigorous application process, very competitive.
Yeah, I heard he killed all of the other applicants, if we're being honest.
That explains a lot.
He just murdered every other applicant for the Chicago job and just got it.
Yep.
I mean, whatever works, right?
May the odds be ever in your favor.
I didn't know Dobby was in the Hunger Games.
Oh God.
Master has presented Dobby with a weapon.
Well, anyone else? If anyone else has seen the new one this weekend, shout out to you.
Have not. I want to though.
I didn't know there was a new one.
I did not know there was a new one either.
It's pretty cool.
I mean, come on. Battle Royale is so popular in video games. Why not just keep doing copy paste of it in movie format?
Just turn your Fortnite game into a full movie.
Just make it IRL. Anyways.
All right, but we have Boom here. Boom's gonna announce the first pick because having the first pick means you get to do that.
Right.
Yeah. So just happy to be here. Definitely, and happy that all those sacrificed goats paid off to win the lottery. But yeah, for the first pick of the draft, the Season 74 SHL Draft, Calgary Dragons are happy to select from the Quebec City Citadels, Freya Solberg, username Naomi Manaqueen.
Well, it's a big honor to join the Calgary Dragons.
Yeah, I mean, if we're being honest, when I'm in the Yukon War Room and Flu was doing scouting, and he's like, "Yeah, Naomi's gonna go further on the SHL draft. I want to bring her in," and he wasn't wrong. Like, hey, Naomi's great. She's very active on the Discord on the site, earning lots of TP. First gen user excited about the site. It's a fantastic pick. It's a no-brainer at first too, and the Quebec to Calgary connection, I'm sure will be something we're seeing a lot of in the future.
Glorious leader of the recruitment team already as well. So,
yeah,
it's been a rough recruitment period, but we're trying our best. We're gonna do we do our best to try and get as many new people coming in. it's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully getting a lot new first gens for next year as well.
I just want to add something to that. Naomi said it's a big honor to join the Calgary Dragons, and I never thought I would agree with that statement in my life, but here we are. So I want to congratulate Boom on turning things around for that team.
I will definitely say it. Like, I think a part that's been a big surprise was that in scouting the past couple seasons, I've gotten like multiple people that have basically told me, like, if this was like the old administration, I would tell you to fuck off. But now, but yeah. Anyway, I will bow out and let the draft continue.
Nice pick.
Yeah, good pick. Yeah, I think the unnamed user is rolling in his proverbial SHL grave, and I love that for him. Well, for us, really. Not
are you talking about user removed at own request?
Yeah. There's so many, redacted user, banned user. Just use one of them.
Anyways.
Also, if you're listening to the VC, just yell at DK, please, just so we don't have a pause. Everything's DK's fault currently, and generally it does. But we're moving on to pick number 2, the Manhattan Rage, after yet another basement dwelling season. I hear rent's pretty expensive in Slovakia, so that's why COA is living down there.
Oh my god.
But they'll be on the clock with pick 2 after, I think they had a little lottery luck to get here, but they will be selecting also from the Quebec City Citadels, Celeste Desjardins, the user Skyerhawk.
Absolutely fantastic pick, in my opinion. Sky has been extremely active, both in QCC, in the 74 draft class server, as well as just been doing some extremely funny media. Honestly, very deserving of the second overall, in my opinion. Maybe a little bit of bias because they're my teammate, but absolutely love them. Fantastic player. Hope to see more from them soon.
I don't know. I get a little concerned. It's like, how Kyler Murray, the second Call of Duty comes out, he just becomes really bad. Skyer plays a lot of League of Legends, and maybe when tournaments are out, their TP is going to drop. And no, I'm just kidding. Celeste is great. It's going to be a great pick for Manhattan. COA is making a good call to bring them in, and just a wonderful person to talk to, and had, I think, 87 points or something ridiculous in the J this year, which is absurd for a rookie. Yeah, fantastic.
I mean, now you say that now in public, but behind closed door, I'm sure it's going to be if you're not first, you're last. Get good. Is what you're going to say.
No, not at all. Not at all. I am not that type of person.
I know.
We'll say it for you then. If you're not first, you're last.
What do you mean?
I'm just messing with you.
Mother of God. Okay, anyways, we're on to pick 3.
One eternity later.
I don't know if you... Okay, just look at the channel. We'll get there. Pick 3 on the clock is Seattle. The Argonauts, they're still trying... I think this is the season they actually get to, legitimately start their rebuild, because they haven't had picks. Thanks to a certain frog-faced Muppet. Yeah, I'm calling you out, Tig. What about it? But this is the year they'll finally get to start their rebuild. Pick 3 is an excellent position to begin that journey in, and the iBoats are on the clock. So before I start, does Seattle have any connection to Argonauts at all, or is it just a thing? Does anyone know?
Unfortunately, I don't know.
What was the question? Throw it at me one more time.
Yeah, how do Argonauts connect to Seattle, or is it just they're on
There's
the
an
sea,
ocean.
So
Yeah, there you go. That's it.
Okay. So as water connects all of us, so does Greece and Seattle get connected by oceans, I guess. And at pick 3, they will be selecting Will Tomlander, the user Roast Puff, 366 TP with over $100 million in his SHL bank. It's a steep fall from the second overall. He was picked in the SMJHL, but an excellent user, coming in with high earning, a big bank, and he's been great in the rookie Discord from what I've seen. Had a 42-point season, which is really good for a rookie, and he's looking to come in and be one of the key focal points of the Seattle rebuild moving forward. And I think it's going to be a really good pick for him. And next up, we'll bring the Montreal Patriots on the clock. I think they have the second worst record, but had just horrific luck in the lottery draw. I think this is just proof that Finn hates Quebecois people. Is that the case? Who can confirm or deny these things? Nobody knows.
I plead the fifth.
What?
What?
You're Canadian. You don't have the fifth, sir.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Silence in Canada is actually a presumption of guilt. But anyways, I digress. So after a season where they finished second last, they finished fourth in the lottery. And they'll be making their selection as another team that is turning around the rebuild and looking to change the narrative and hopefully build a core that'll win a cup. But they'll be taking longtime user Chevy, the player Peanut. I don't know if it's like Peanut, like the Peanuts with Charlie Brown, if it's Peanut, like just a peanut, or if this is just a nickname he got for being small.
Jeff Dunham's puppet, if you've ever watched Jeff Dunham do
Okay.
Yeah,
So
it's
literally
same as
the
his
worst
profile
possible
picture.
character.
if you didn't know Chevy's a boomer, he enjoys Jeff Dunham.
Who?
Yeah.
There's proof right there with the who.
Don't,
Yeah, but,
don't make me pull out that thread.
But Chevy's a great guy. We played a bit of D&D together. He had a solo thing going on because he's got a kid in life and stuff. But he's a good guy. You can probably speak a bit more to him, Ace, because you've had him in your locker room for who knows how goddamn long. 2 seasons, 3 seasons.
Well, I've been involved with Chevy for a while. I worked with him back when he got the Great Falls Grizzly expansion team. I was on his club. He was actually involved in my application process to get the Aurora GM job way back when, because he was the co-GM of the team when Kez and Chevy stepped down. So they provided a recommendation for my my job appointment here in the Aurora front office. So really fantastic user, team-oriented person, never has a bad day, it seems, always happy to just chat and really one of those people that make a team community. So I am not surprised whatsoever with him going this early. Completely deserved, and fantastic pick. Nothing but good things to say.
When you say you're involved, are you confirming that you guys have been dating for a while then?
Just a few flings between the sheets.
Okay.
Our wives would not approve of anything more serious than that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that'll bring us on the clock to pick 5, and this is the first quote-unquote playoff team. We'll say they made the playoffs, but it was kind of a pity party. The Tampa Bay Barracuda are on the clock. They're looking to turn the corner. They've got a roster of up-and-coming players, mostly on the roster, though. Not that many prospects left. Just waiting for these players to develop TP. So that Dwight Knight, DK, the Tampa GM, on the clock is going to select Ace, you're a Viking. You can pronounce this, right?
Dag Otto Bjornstein. I know. I'm out.
Dag Otto Bjornjanst? Or something like that. Who knows?
That's what I think would be how it would be pronounced.
Bjornstjanst.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure. But speaking of boomers, look at this guy's render. Am I right? But I believe Kenvald had the highest TP of any player ever on his last player. Correct me if I'm wrong, but That's what someone was saying.
That's what I've heard as well. Unfortunately, I do not have any correction or confirmation, but that's what I've heard as well.
What a fantastic user this guy is. And he's not somebody that goes out there and really interacts with a whole lot of people outside of his locker room. I had the absolute immense privilege of working with him when I was the GM of the New England Wolfpack before he who must not be named removed me from that position. But Kenny is a fantastic guy. He's always involved in tactics, in the war room, in general locker room stuff. Really intelligent dude. I have nothing but amazing things to say about him. If I had a top 5 pick, Kenny would have been mine as well.
Yeah, he's just a dude who helps you win, really, and who doesn't want to win.
Yeah, and
Big
I mean,
fan
this
of
is definitely going to be helping Tampa Bay's plan here of bringing in someone who will be high earning, to pair up with the rest of the roster players that are up and coming as well, as you mentioned. So fantastic pick in my opinion. Very good idea from Tampa Bay here.
Also, before we get to the next pick, I just have a question: is lobster just like way overrated because it's just like it's too much work versus like the actual food?
Okay, as a native New Englander, I need you to shut the fuck up on that front.
I mean,
I'm gonna say
I'm
crab.
going to double down on my statement and say it's pretty overrated.
I don't
So,
even
yeah.
like lobster that much, but I live in this area, and it's just like a cultural thing. So, if you go in the South and you order a lobster and they give you that Caribbean spiny lobster stuff, it's not the same. It's not the same.
I'm gonna say crab's better though.
Nope, incorrect.
If we're being entirely honest, I would take craft dinner over lobster.
Well,
That's
just
okay.
crazy.
You put some ketchup on some craft dinner, and then you have a max earning player on the Chicago Syndicate.
You had me at the craft dinner 'cause I'm unfortunately not very fond of seafood, but you lost me at the ketchup.
Oh, this is
A
more of
really good
a reference to Thai.
lobster roll, though. Lobster rolls are. Yeah,
Why are we
up
talking
there.
about lobster?
It's like the whole draft
apparently
class
this
team.
draft class is obsessed with lobster. No fucking reason.
Lobster.
Yeah,
Yeah, have you ever had lobster poutine though?
I have.
Uh,
not.
You can
no,
put anything
I have
on
not.
poutine.
Yeah,
like, it's
and
not
lobster
like
is
the
a
best.
thing.
So to explain the whole lobster situation for people who are not a part of the 74 server, essentially it was a movement started by Troy to essentially say screw the draft and make the 74 draft class just a team called the Lobsters. So that's our little inside meme here. And why this draft class is completely obsessed with lobsters.
Oh my god, that would be great. Just bring Portland, Maine into the league. We'll have the Portland Lobsters.
Hell
What
yeah!
time zone?
The actual good Portland, not the other one. So mean.
But yes, there are some of our lobster reference. But now we're up to pick 6, I believe. The Patriots on the clock again. And they will be taking a longtime SHL user, Emil Carlson, the user Dankoa.
Isn't that the first
Dan-
GM of the team as well?
No.
No.
What?
Yeah, he was. He was the GM that.
Oh, you mean
brought
like the first
Montreal.
person on the page? I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, he was the guy that brought Montreal into the league via expansion. So it all comes
this
full
is-
circle in that way.
It is coming. I think his last player went like first or second overall to Baltimore, flamed out a bit, but his players before that were pretty freaking impressive. Max earning players. I think he had like 2 or 3 of them prior, before he took a bit of a break. He's definitely been someone who you've seen growth as a person over time because he's been a long-time SHL user. And I think he's going to be a great fit for the Patriots culture and their locker room.
Yeah, I mean that's a big thing when you're doing a rebuild. You want to have a mix of first generation players that have a really high upside, but first generation players also bring a little bit of a risk when you're a GM. So if you can pair that high risk, high reward with somebody that you know has a proven track record to come in there and be SHL caliber player down the road, it's great organizational strategy. So smart move.
We're
I mean-
question. We're draft 74, right?
Yeah, this is the 74
Yes.
class. Yes.
Thank you. Give me a second.
And I mean, to be honest, that's what recreates who have those proven track records are for. It's, trying to get someone that is going to be active, someone that is going to be high earning, barring any life situations. But those recreates do have a lot of that inherent value of already being known by these teams, knowing that they would provide that sort of value that teams are looking for with a rebuild here. So fantastic pick from Montreal. And we'll see what is coming up next here with.
Well, I can tell you what's coming up next. It's a trade.
Yeah.
It is.
Sports Center update.
First trade of the
There's
draft.
a trade to announce.
Is it ready to?
Do we have it?
Are we ready, Shawnee?
Yeah, I speedrun it.
Perfect. So here is the trade. Barracuda and Argonauts are trading.
Yeah, to Tampa Bay is being sent Benson Fiorentino, Tini, which is Adams' player, the former GM who just stepped down, signed for 3 years and 50% retained throughout. In return, they'll be getting the San Francisco first round selection, the 7th overall pick, the Tampa Bay Barracuda second this draft, the 26th overall, the season 75 Tampa Bay first, and the season 75 Tampa Bay second. So Dwight really swinging for the fences with the probably best available player on the block this offseason. And Seattle getting an absolute haul to spark their rebuild with their one of, if not their only big assets remaining. And I got to be honest, this is a huge haul for Seattle. I think they're doing great, but Adam's awesome. And DK's got to be really happy to bring him into the Tampa Bay roster there. But this will bring pick 7 back to the Seattle Argonauts. So the I-Boats are on the clock. And they will be taking the first Yukon Malamute of the draft, Squidwardo Tentacles, the user, the OP Squid. And Squid is pretty OP because he's awesome, and I'm a big fan. He's a real talkative guy. I've seen him in Yukon. He's really friendly. He's very loved. He had a really good season in the J this year. I think it's going to be a really good pick for Seattle. I was hearing rumors of him going first overall, and while those didn't appear to be founded, he did go one pick earlier than the projections mostly had him. A lot of people had him being sent to Winnipeg, but Seattle swoops in and takes him away.
Yeah, to be honest, I think this is a fantastic pick for Seattle. I've not really interacted too much with him, mainly on the 74 server and a couple DMs here and there. But as you say, HFFO, very friendly guy. Absolutely fantastic person, very involved as well. I think he's a candidate for the Miller this year as well, at least in my personal opinion. Very dedicated user, has a lot of media posted, has been posting pretty much every round of the J, making sure that like all of the matchups are covered. So we've got some extensive playoff coverage from him in media. And I think he might have the biggest bank out of all of the new first gens currently. I'm unsure on that fact, but I do believe that is the case. Honestly, a fantastic pickup for Seattle. I'm honestly surprised he actually managed to fall this far. I was personally picturing him going in the top 5.
Yeah, honestly, I called this yesterday. I literally said Celeste was going to go pick 2, and they're like, no, there's no info. And I said one of Tampa's pick is going to be Squid, and it was. So take that, Juho. I told you. But this will bring pick 8 on the clock and the Winnipeg Aurora, the long-standing, we can call them a dynasty even if they've only won one cup because they've just been around and dominating for so damn long. Will be making their selection. Asa, do you want to announce this one?
Yeah, I'm really happy to announce this pick. It's good for us to bring in a little bit of fresh blood. We've been, light on the draft selections the last few seasons, as we've been in quite a few cup final opportunities there. Finally got over the hump, and unfortunately, Edmonton had to get better and then knock us out in the finals. So we decided, hey, why don't we bring in some new blood? And while we did that, we had some really great scouting conversations with a lot of really good first generation players. But one really jumped out at me, just the way that the conversation was supernatural, and it just flowed, and it made a lot of sense culturally for us to make this player come into the fold here. We needed some youth on the blue line, and we're super stoked to welcome one-timer, the Pyro Alpaca, to the Winnipeg Aurora at pick number 8.
Well, I gotta say, a very fantastic pick for you guys. Pyro has been extremely active in QCC, has been active in the Season 74 rookie server, is honestly an absolute joy to be around. Once again, a little bit of bias for a fellow QCC member, but I mean, he's just honestly incredible to be around. Is very good at trash talking. Lights a fire, quite literally. Under our asses to make sure that we're performing at our best, and to make sure that we're all competitive, and hopefully gonna help us make our way to a 4-star cup in our next couple seasons in the J.
He's called up next season, by the way. So,
well,
just kidding.
It's a good run for Quebec. They won nothing, but it was a good run.
I was gonna say, like, I think you might ask for a trade if you do that.
Well, I mean, as the current Latvia Federation head, I really like this draft so far. 2 Latvians in the top 8. I'm really liking this.
Yeah, IHF isn't really SHL. Anyways, this will bring
You
pick
don't need
9
to
on the
talk.
clock. Pick 9 will be the Minnesota Monarchs. A team that has been building their roster since the dawn of time, I believe.
Yep.
They've certainly had some struggles. Hoping to turn a corner soon. They've got an amazing defense core coming up. I think they have like 8 or 9 like max earning defense prospects, or like high earning defense prospects. Like, it's ridiculous how many defensemen they have. So something's gonna have to give there eventually, you'd assume. But they'll be selecting at pick 9, and they will be taking a longtime member of the SMJHL HO and the site. The Monarchs will be selecting Bartholomew Chungus Ginger Snap III, the user the Danger Zone.
What can we say about TDZ? He's been around forever. He knows how to build a winner. He's got his hands in every bucket of responsibility in the SHL. Great guy to have in the locker room if you need any kind of guidance or a consultative presence there. I was happy to have his last player with the Aurora. Just a great pick.
Yeah, he had a bit of a life stuff come up and felt the need to recreate it after his last player. But a great user. He's on the site. You see him, and if you have access to SMJHL HO at all, you'll see him around doing just a shit ton of work, and a good guy and a good pick for Minnesota at pick 9.
Minnesota lying to us about who they were going to pick at 9. They said they had confirmed it was going to be Gibbles, but he's still on the table. See if someone else scoops him up. Yeah, no, interesting, isn't it?
I know.
I do know Gibbles messaged all the SHL GMs and said, "Don't take me unless it's in the first." And Minnesota has another pick, so
that's very fair. That's very fair. They could indeed pick him up at 14, but there was a lot of rumors confirming that he was going to go at 9. But who knows? We'll see if someone scoops him up before 14, or if Gibbles is going to be gone at 14, or later even.
But it's a great pick for Minnesota there. That'll take us to pick 10, and the New England Wolfpack on the clock. The Wolfpack will be selecting the user Delirium. Delirium. He put it weird just to mess with me.
Deliver them?
Deliverance? Delivery. It's not delivery. It's Delicio.
DiGiorno?
It's Delicio, sir. Come on. But the player TLC will be heading to the New England Wolfpack. His first player was a longtime member of the West Baltimore platoon. And was a force on those teams. He had a bit of a stint where he made a goalie. That seemed to be more of a casual thing, just to take a bit of a break. But now he's back with a left defenseman that played on the main timber, and he'll be heading to the New England Wolfpack to kick some ass, hopefully. And this will bring pick 11 on the clock, and that'll be the Buffalo Stampede. So Tommen has been he's been busy lately. I believe he got this. Was this the pick he got in a trade?
Great
Am I wrong?
question.
Am I right? No, he traded. He traded pick 12. He had pick 12. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the pick he kept.
Mhm.
He wanted to make sure he stayed in front of Calgary when he made this trade. So maybe he's looking to get whoever they wanted. Who knows? But the Buffalo Stampede at pick 11 will be selecting Sergei Ivanov, the user Arctic. I did have the pleasure of Arctic's last player. He was on the Edmonton Blizzard when our roster wasn't great. He wasn't a very high earning user on his last player, but he was great to have around the locker room. He was very excited, and I enjoyed having him around. He's a defenseman, which are hard to come by unless you're Minnesota. And I think it's going to be a great for Buffalo. They must love his locker room presence and the player, and hopefully see him earning really well in the future.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, he's been a joy to talk to. I've talked to him a couple times. We had him participate in a Pokemon tournament for the SHL, and had the opportunity to play against him there. And honestly, it was a lot of fun. A couple good games. Really fun guy to talk to. Hope to see some success from him in the future.
And this will bring up the aforementioned traded selection. The Calgary Dragons are back on the clock. And yeah, I guess at pick 1, if you go one Solberg, you have to take the other one at pick 12. That will bring Sonia Solberg, the user Sunny, heading to the Calgary Dragons to be reunited with her sister.
Suni.
Suni.
Yes. But I'm extremely happy to see my sister here coming in to Calgary with me. It's going to be a lot of fun playing together. I honestly feel like I'm not whole without if she's not there, I don't feel whole. So we're going to be playing together. It's going to be fantastic. And I want to give a shout out to Boom for making this trade happen and taking my lovely sister. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, this user I think wouldn't be 12 if there wasn't the relation. I think she would have gone earlier, probably much higher because she's been really great.
Yeah, very possibly.
Yeah, but the connection, having the Sedin Swiss sisters on the same team should be a great fit in Calgary, and hopefully they'll bring back that Calgary Edmonton rivalry that has been missing for a very, very long time.
I mean, that is the plan, HFFO. We're coming for you.
All right, good. Someone's gotta.
I do want to say on behalf of the artist team, people who create with the same render and play for the same J team, we love you. Because if you didn't notice, this was the exact same picture, but it was flipped. It was mirrored just so we could make the distinction. But we really do appreciate when renders are easy to make like that, especially on a big class. So appreciate that.
But this will bring the first pick of the Nike tenure in Chicago on the clock. After a entire 1 day of scouting, the Chicago Syndicate are very pleased to select. Well, that's not it.
Yep.
They're gonna take Calgary's player. Actually, they're just gonna rob him
I knew there had to be
at
a valid
gunpoint.
player.
But no,
Yeah.
Cal Juice, the user Caltroit Red Flames, is going to be heading to the Chicago Syndicate. If there was an SHL team that mirrored a cult, it would probably be Chicago. Because they generally, like, they've stayed good for so long, even with declining TP. The players all generally want to be there. It's a really solid locker room and group of people, and Caltroit must fit that to a T. They must love bringing him in and be a big fan of being able to get him at 13. And that is a great, just absolutely great render. But this will bring pick 14 of the Minnesota Monarchs on the clock.
Do they take Gibbles now, or is Gibbles going to be up for grabs for anyone?
Give me my Gibbles, you know? But, yeah, so Minnesota is selecting at pick 14 Gordon William Gibbles, Spartan Gibbles. Heading back to Minnesota, he wanted to play where he played like 20 some odd seasons. Like, so unbelievably long did he play in Minnesota. Gibbles is heading back to where he has spent most of his time, and should be a great fit. They must love him in Minnesota to keep him around that long. And I think he's going to be a key part of their forward core moving forward. We talked about how many defensemen they have. They've now picked up 2 really solid earning forwards. And I think it's going to be a good haul for them. And this will bring the Montreal Patriots back on the clock with their third first rounder of the day. And I don't know, should we wait a bit so the GMs can start picking more? Because it's kind of silly at this point.
Yeah, it gives me time as well.
Oh my god. How long is this? This isn't acceptable. Let's catch up and then we'll have a real reason to shame them.
All right. So at pick 15, the Montreal Patriots are selecting mock draft power ranking rookie, power ranking connoisseur, Mikkel Envoldsen, Rabbit Sponge 21. And if anyone fits the Patriots culture to a T, Rabbit Sponge would nail it on the head. He's going to be heading over to the Patriots and CK and Roddy's team, and hopefully helping them turn that ship around after they've started the rebuild. And this will bring pick 16 and the Atlanta Inferno on the clock. We'll just wait for that. But pick 16, weirdly in the mock draft, there were like 6 picks that the rookies thought they knew, and it was like 1, 4, 8, and 16. 16 was the one they thought they knew. And it will actually be the user they thought. Paul Bondage, the user Captain Campbell, heading to the Atlanta Inferno. And so I did posit the question that, like, if there is a Captain Campbell, does this, justify the existence of a Colonel Camel, a General Camel, a Major Camel? Apparently there is no chain of command of camels. He's just he self-anointed himself a rank and didn't even give himself like a good one. I think Captain's a guaranteed rank if you stayed in the military for a certain amount of time. So that's kind of weird. But maybe he likes being the kind of officer who actually does stuff with his people. But he'll be heading to the Atlanta Inferno, a high-earning defenseman. Getting at pick 16 just shows the depth of this class, taking 32nd in the SMJHL. Camel's going to be a great fit for Atlanta. Probably slotting in right next to Mr. President, who they took last draft. I think at a similar 16 or 17 they took him last draft, and he was an absolute steal there as well. So great pick for them here.
Well, I do think that maybe the captain might be gunning for captain of Atlanta in the future. Who knows? That might be what it's for.
But this will bring a trade on the clock. Feel free to boo this trade, as the Winnipeg Aurora are involved, so it's Ace's fault, and it's why we took so long for this pick.
For the record, it is not our fault. We were waiting on the other party to respond to us.
Are you blaming a newly appointed GM? That's kind of disrespectful. You're a veteran.
Really.
You should
Why
understand.
don't you write 3 paragraphs about it, Chuck?
I will, actually.
Right,
Yeah. So, as I indicated in my previous draft selection at 8 overall, we really wanted to bring in some fresh blood here to Winnipeg. And when you only have the 8th overall pick as a viable pick in a draft class, when you talk to so many great first-generation players, it really sucks having to choose just one. So luckily, we were given an opportunity to move some future draft capital, which we tend to do in drafts. We moved a future first and 2 seconds that we acquired in a trade earlier this offseason.
To clarify, these are all Baltimore picks. It's the S77
Yep.
Baltimore first, S75 Baltimore second, and S77 Baltimore second.
Yeah, so we acquired all 3 of these picks in a trade earlier this offseason, and why not go ahead and move them into draft capital now so we can backfill some of that prospect pipeline. So, yeah, we are super stoked to bring in our good friend Langston Hardison Laurent, username Jexter. Another fantastic interview that I had, and honestly, I had 2 first gens that I drafted in this draft, 1A, 1B, and I'm ecstatic to bring them both into Winnipeg.
Yeah, a fellow Yukon Malamute, Jexter actually just joined the front office there, showing his dedication and how great he has been in Yukon this season so far. He was bugging me for draft info, and I told you as well, so I told you so, Jexter. But he's been a great player. He watches a lot of I believe it's Finnish games because he's in Finland. So you get to you'll get to hear about his times at some of the Finnish games there. I believe it's the Yogurt fan. Maybe I'm wrong. I forget. Maybe it's Tampere. It's a team. But he's a great user. He's been really active and fun to talk to, and I think it's going to be a great pick for Winnipeg and a smart call to jump into this draft to pick him up.
Yeah, I mean, very active in the Season 74 server as well. Has been a pretty big jokester, joining in with the lobster jokes, as well as just making a bunch of his own as well. Fantastic person, fantastic player. I think he got another good one, Ace.
Never mind.
Good luck to them.
Wrong user. He's not even Finnish. This is all a lie. But Jexter's great.
My scouting obviously was way off. I don't know what I heard.
Well, he did want me to mention that Langston is worse than Theodore Svatos. But Langston had a Game 7 game-winning goal in the playoffs.
Did he have a cup-winning goal, though?
No.
I guess
How'd Vancouver do?
I actually have a cup-winning goal. Thank you for asking.
Anyways, this will bring pick 18 on the clock, the New England Wolfpack. Hold up. Wasn't pick 17 your original pick? You traded back for it?
Yeah, it all comes full circle, baby.
There you go.
Yeah, the trade messed me up.
But pick 18, the New England Wolfpack are selecting Simpsons announcer Troy McClure the fourth. The third? Why did it have 4?
Pretty sure it's the
What?
Fourth? It'd be IV. Why is there 4I?
I think
never mind. Undo this
No,
pick. He's gone.
it's
Get rid of him.
pronounced Troy McClure.
It's if it's French, I believe it's actually E. That's some gecko-y. What's the gecko guy?
EE.
Yeah, some E guy. But Troy McClure, I believe, is Luke's real life friend. I read that somewhere. I also don't know how to read, so don't blame me. But he's heading to join him in New England. He's been very active in the rookie Discord, trying to figure out the mock because no one could do it. A defenseman, which is a marquee position, heading over there, and should be a good haul for him. We're bringing in a player they really wanted, with a pretty sizable bank at around $44.5 million.
He's been pretty active in the Regina locker room as well. Troy McClure for a long time was the Colorado name. I think it still is for the leadership award, and now I can see why. Very active in the locker room, very nice to be around. So yeah, that's Troy McClure. And I triple checked. It's really the fourth, but with no knowledge of how Roman numerals work.
To be fair, Roman is a dead language like Latin. But this brings up back-to-back selections of the Philadelphia Forge on the clock. I have heard rumors that after having such a tight finals and going to Game 7, Ass has been having some headaches. So he wisely selected Merritt Carta, the user ibuprofen addict, to help deal with those headaches. Ibuprofen addict, I believe he's that guy from Lost. Who's the guy? Give me a second. His profile picture is on Discord. It's the guy from Lost. He's the chunky guy with the wild hair.
Fortunately, I don't know.
Hold up, I'll get it. No, never mind. It's not the guy from Lost. It's Hot Pie, from Game of Thrones.
You are all over the place today.
Hey, that's what happens when you win a cup. Your brain gets a little scrambled. You'd understand.
Yeah.
But yeah, so his Discord user is the Hot Pie, the Game of Thrones, the guy who makes the pies and the baked goods. But he's been a great user, really active as well in the rookie Discord. Seems like a really good person to bring into your locker room, and should be a great selection for the Forge, who draft generally very well. It's pretty undisputable. And then with their second pick, they will be taking the first of two Leos on the clock, Leonard Wood. These are Monk 22, heading to the Philadelphia Forge.
Another extremely active rookie, first gen, coming in for Philadelphia here. Monk has been a fantastic joy to be around in the mock, has been helping us quite a bit try to set that up. Has been making quite a few jokes here and there as well, playing off of some other people's jokes. Fantastic person. Good pick for Philadelphia. And the first of two Leos officially gone.
Yeah, should be a real good pick for the Forge here. This will end the first round of the draft, actually. And they'll be bringing us back to on the first pick of the second round will be the Manhattan Rage on the clock.
Yeah,
and in the meantime, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think before starting round 2, we will take a 5-10 minutes break, let the GMs pick ahead a bit, because we're dangerously close. And we all know that the deeper we get, we often get fewer things to say about the draft picks. So I think we will take.
Well, I mean,
just make sure you yell at your local GM and make them pick faster is what we have to do.
Yeah, so I mean, this is the perfect time, I guess, to maybe go over what some people thought about the mock of the first round here, as well as answering some of the questions that were involved with the mock. I do believe we have to look at over and under 4.5 in terms of recreates for the top 10 picks, as well as looking at which J team had the most rookies taken in the first round.
I feel like there's a bias towards all of these questions.
Not sure, not sure. But so looking at the draft order here, um, with 4.5 over under, we had officially Will as a recreate, Peanut, Dagotto, Emil Carlson, and we also had Bartholomew. So that's officially over 5, over 4.5. So those of you who have voted over will be getting some sweet, sweet TPE. And for the most rookies from the J team, I do believe it's Quebec at a quick glance.
What a surprise.
I know, right? Yeah, I do believe it's Quebec with 4.
Let me do the
but
quick
I'm-
calculation. Yeah, there was 7.5 right off the top of my head. I know exactly how many.
Well, those of you who have voted for Quebec to have the most rookies in the first round should be getting that TPE. So what were the other 2 questions again? I need to go check that.
Oh, so you remember the one? Okay.
What round would the first goalie be selected? Well, it was not first. I don't think we've seen any goalies being drafted right now.
Yeah, no goalies have been drafted yet, so we'll see if it's in the second or if it's in the third. Or later, even.
Or never.
Or never, yeah. I mean, I think it would be surprising considering that there are some goalies in this draft.
Goalies aren't real. Sorry, Ramen.
Alright, let's take a 5-minute break. Maybe 10. We'll see. Depends on how fast GMs get picking in that second round. And then we'll come back to do the second round, and hopefully it picks even more speed for the third and however how many, because we've been at it for an hour and we're only 1 round in. And I don't like that. Alright, 5 minutes, maybe 10 break. Stick with us and we'll be back. All right, we
Let's do
are
it.
back for the second round of this draft. Thank you for sticking with us while we waited for the picks to come in a bit. We don't want to catch up on the GMs and then end up with absolutely nothing to say. So yeah, we're ready to start again. Let's go with pick 21. Manhattan's on the clock.
Yeah, the Manhattan Rage are selecting at pick 21. One of my favorite users of the draft, it's Roger Murdoch, the user Mazat. His last player was a longtime Edmonton player. My third day on the Edmonton job, I did end up trading him to Tampa Bay as we were setting up our rebuild. And his player was a bit of an older fellow, but he earns TP like a monster. He's a great person to talk to, super friendly. He's been around forever, and I love it. I think this is the steal of the draft, without question. And Manhattan's just getting an absolute gem at pick 21. This is way later than he should have gone.
I agree, and I mean, he's also been selected at 26th in the J, so going to be a steal twice. Steal for Carolina, steal for Manhattan. Maybe we should nickname him as a thief, in a good way, of course.
Yeah, Manhattan just taking a tremendous W on this pick for sure. But that will bring up on the clock the New Orleans Spectres, receiving this pick by way of the Edmonton Blizzard, who received this pick by way of the Montreal Patriots. So this pick has been passed around. The Spectres are selecting the Newfoundland Berserkers co-GM, Cracker Pizza, the user Patty. If anything ever goes wrong in the SHL, you know who to blame. It's Patty. But Patty's actually a really nice guy. He's been around Newfoundland for a long time. His last player was pretty solid. He's drafted by, I want to say, Calgary, traded to Hamilton. He's a super friendly guy. And he's going to be a great gem for the locker room of the New Orleans Spectres. And I think it's going to be a good pick for him. And if there's nothing else to say about Patrick, Mr. Twist, that'll bring the Argonauts on the clock with their, I don't know, is their third pick? Third selection of the draft at pick 23, and they'll be taking the... What?
Okay. Yeah, the logo wasn't updated yet.
All right, we good now?
Yep.
All right, they'll be taking the player whose username matches the player name. It's Shadow Phoenix, the user Shadow Phoenix. Shadow Phoenix is apparently really shadowy because I don't think I've ever seen them around.
They've been talking here and there in the 74 server, but they had been a little bit quiet compared to some of the other first gens here. However, they are very good at earning. Had a really good rookie season on Colorado. And I mean, I think their player is still going to be a very fantastic player in the SHL. And it's going to be a good pick for Seattle, I think.
Yeah, it's a good, nice first-gen option for them. This user was very responsive in DMs during scouting, and I do think that there's definitely a lot of upside here, both them and Seattle, and for Seattle and them.
And this pick was brought to you by Raid Shadow Phoenix.
No.
So Shadow Phoenix. Pretty easy, Jace. But this will bring pick 24 on the clock next, and that will be the Calgary Dragons with their third selection of the draft. The Dragons.
There's a third Solberg we didn't know about.
No. That's actually next season when I bring in another of my friends. No.
Don't lie. You don't have two friends. That's too many.
No. That's my other account.
I mean, fun fact: there's actually already four friends here in the SHL.
Okay, well, if you have 4 friends, you don't belong in a simulation league. You got to leave. Sorry.
Yeah.
2 people coming into the 75 draft. have been recruited by yours truly. So
I'm not
but yes.
familiar with that user. Yours truly. What team are they on?
just got drafted to Calgary.
I think they're
Really?
on a team
Okay.
with
Yeah.
nobody.
Oh yeah. Yours truly is with nobody
Yeah. They
on an active island.
But the Calgary Dragons will be selecting someone to help with the practice drills. It'll be the user SO2264 Orange Cone Discord user Burb.
Burb.
I've seen Burb around in the SHL Hockey Nation Discord. He's been a real cool guy there. I really like talking to him. He's gonna be it's gonna be a really good locker room, I think, to be in Calgary with the recent moves Boom's making. I think it's gonna be a really good pickup for him in Calgary, and getting a defenseman is a marquee position, as I've mentioned. And Orange Cone is a great name for a defenseman.
In the Quebec to Calgary pipeline, in another form this time, considering that SO is from Quebec.
Yeah,
A little funny nod to the Quebec to Calgary pipeline.
if you're not from Quebec or playing in QCC, Boom doesn't care about you. Is that what you're saying?
No,
That's
not
what I'm
right.
reading. Yeah.
No.
Boom only likes Quebec.
Straight from the horse's mouth, everyone.
But yeah, so it should be a good pick for Calgary. Ooh, what's okay? And this will bring the Toronto North Stars on the clock. The North Stars are selecting, as mandated by the league, the user McGriddle lover, Mac Griddle. Grids has been the co-GM in Toronto, on and off for a short tenure, but been around for a while there. A really friendly, good guy. He's from Ohio, so you can give him a bit of a ding there. But it should be a good additional piece to add to that timeline they're building in Toronto with the great prospects they have going there, and some of the recent moves. They're really just building a really solid team in the future for the North Star there.
Love McGriddle. He's been on Finland a while with us. I've played with him in Colorado forever ago now, and I don't think I have anything bad I could ever find to say about McGrid. So, yeah, that's my comment.
And this will bring the Buffalo Stampede on the clock.
Well, now that you've spoiled it, yes, it will.
Haha! It's a trick.
Well, it's not a trick, it's a trade.
You're a trade.
Trick of the trade.
I was traded, yeah.
So the Buffalo Stampede will be sending the S75 Calgary second, the S75 Buffalo second, and the S76 Buffalo second in exchange for the S74 Tampa Bay Barracuda second. This selection pick 26. So that's 3 seconds spread over 2 drafts for the S74 Tampa Bay Barracuda second round selection heading to the Buffalo Stampede.
Yep.
That is a big trade. Getting 3 seconds in exchange for 1 second is pretty good.
It's definitely a testament to just how deep this draft is. Buffalo does love their Reddit classes as well. But the Stampede will be selecting the user Volvsilla, player Deep Thought. It should be a great pick for him. Really solid earning TP wise. Haven't really seen them around the rookie Discord, but I'm assuming that they're more of a talking in Buffalo and Anchorage kind of person. And Buffalo and Anchorage does have that long-time connection that'll be going strong here with this pick as well. Next on the clock will be the Minnesota Monarchs at pick 27. At pick 27, the Minnesota Monarchs will be selecting Simo Jaskalainen, the user EC06AAJ. I don't know if that's supposed to be something collectively, but that's a username. What I can only assume is a Finnish player with a name like that. They played for the Falcons, really solid TP earning at a marquee position in defense, as if the Monarchs needed more. But yeah, when you're at this point, you take the best player available, and this player looks like an absolute gem. Heading to the Minnesota Monarchs, it should be an excellent pick for him, as they're getting a really solid earning player at pick 27.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm surprised that Simo has fallen this far. A lot of mocks had him in the first round. And I mean, I completely agree with that statement. Active on the rookie server, also helping us with the mock quite a lot. I'm honestly surprised. Fantastic pick for Minnesota.
Next up, we have New Orleans.
Yeah, the New Orleans Spectres on the clock at pick 28. They will be taking Ace Gilded, the user Arca Legion. The user most likely to have a name pulled out of a D&D campaign. But I believe that render is Shorzy from the show Shorzy. Maybe I'm wrong. It looks kind of like him. But coming from the main timber, excellent earning TP at center. Bank's a bit low. Might need to work on some media in the near future. But should be a good pick for the Spectres, who have been having a solid draft, bringing in a lot of young talent. And should be a good selection for them there moving forward. And that'll bring the Toronto North Stars back on the clock.
Yes, because that pick that's another trade, isn't it?
Is it? God damn it, stop it.
I know.
All right. So Minnesota had the pick or whatever, and they're sending it to Toronto for stuff. And then the 76 Winnipeg second and the 78 Winnipeg second are heading back to Minnesota in the deal. So Minnesota sending this pick to Toronto for S76 and S78 Winnipeg second round selections.
Someone in another league just said you're making trades for the sake of making trades, and I think that can apply to SHL sometimes.
No.
So Toronto picking now.
Yeah, at pick 29, the Toronto North Stars are selecting Denabor Malash, the user Cobbenstein. Corn on the Cobbenstein, heading to the Toronto North Stars. Should be a 324 TP goalie with a 13.5 million in the bank. Toronto's needed a goalie as there has been a recent decline in the number of active goalies. We thought we were gonna have a big access in, I think it was season 71. There was just a bunch of really good goalies, but they almost all disappeared out of nowhere. I think Bernard Lodge is the only one that stayed around. But Toronto bring in what they have assumed is the top goaltender, heading to the North Stars to man the crease. And that'll bring the New England Wolfpack on the clock.
And so officially we have the first goalie in the second round, which means those of you who have voted for the second round being the first round where goalies are picked, you are indeed correct. And you are going to get some TP.
Hooray.
And on the clock, the Los Angeles Panthers with, I believe, their first selection of the draft.
What?
No, never mind. This is the New England Wolfpack. I am a horrible liar. They'll be selecting Jackson Reaper, the user Vin. A Yukon Malamute selection, earning TP pretty well with a decent-sized bank of 20 million. He's one of the more quiet Discord users, but he's been earning really well. His last player was a goaltender, had about I think it was about 950 TP. But yeah, it should be a good pick for New England, taking one of the more quiet users, but a solid earner and a good person to bring in from the Yukon, I think, to the New England Wolfpack. And now it's the LA Panthers on the clock. And the LA Panthers will be selecting Abdi Smokes, the user Locrian Midwest. What is and isn't the Midwest is weirdly one of the things I've seen contested on the SHL. People in the Midwest want to exclude other people from being their true Midwest, and vice versa. So it's become an interesting debate, interesting in loose quotations. But Abdi Smokes Panthers, this user's been pretty active. They're from QCC as well. I've had the pleasure of talking with them a couple times. They seem like a really good fit. The TP, but that's something you can fix over time. You take gambles on users, not necessarily TP accounts at the draft, and it should be a great fit for them at pick 31. On the clock, the Buffalo Stampede. And they will be taking Johnny Patey, Johnny Patey, the user Johnny Patey, heading to the Buffalo Stampede. This is another defender, incredibly high TP at this point. 3 pick, what is it, 32? Is a coup for Tomlin at this point. Almost 29 million. He's getting a real gem of a selection here from the Quebec City Citadels. And it should be a great fit roster-wise as they look to build out that back end for the future as they do their own pretty quick-looking rebuild. And Chicago's on the clock with their second selection of the Nike era. And Chicago will be selecting the second Leo Rose, the user Vic03. And words cannot describe this selection to me, I don't think. Vic was my draft mate in Newfoundland in season 63. And the first move I made when I became GM of Edmonton was trade Vic. So my thoughts on Vic are pretty well known. However, other people don't find Vic to be the worst thing that comes to human existence. They may be wrong. However, they'll take a gamble on him at pick 33. No, congrats, Vic. You're going to like Chicago. The Newfoundland connection, I'm sure it's going to be great for you.
Yeah, I think honestly, Vic going to Chicago is going to be a very good pick for them. Has been extremely active in QCC, has been a very good friend. Again, more QCC bias, but very fantastic person to be around. And despite what you think, HFFO, good man.
Press X to doubt, and I'm slamming that button right now. But yes, this will bring the 34th selection, the Calgary Dragons, on the clock. And when it's been a while and you're living in Prohibition, sometimes you just need a drink, and you go talk to Jerry Moonshine, the user Grim Grum. I don't think I've seen Grim Grum around. Maybe I have. I'm not sure. The TP is a bit low, but you bet on users again, not just TP.
Yeah.
Heading to the Dragons with they've brought in a Hall of Users, so hopefully that rookie class can motivate each other to train really well and help build up that core. Grim Grum heading to the Calgary Dragons. Next on the clock, the Los Angeles Panthers will be selecting. And they will be taking the user Unconfident 69, the player's stun gun. Another goalie being selected is we're getting a mini run on goal. Unconfident had a player, I believe, played in Toronto for a while. Then it was traded to SFP. Good user. Maybe not the max earning, but he'll definitely earn like 1600 TP, I believe, is what his last player is around. And should be a good pick for the net in Los Angeles.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, especially if Stun Gun Sims, like he did in Anchorage this season, probably a nomination for the best goalie of the J, potentially.
Next up, we will have the Calgary Dragons back on the. We've said their name a couple times. And as a run of goalies is occurring, we'll see if that will continue.
We don't have the graphics for that player. I don't know what happened there, but
you can just put a Finnish flag up. He'll be fine with it.
I don't have a Finnish flag at the ready.
Unbelievable.
I'm not Finland head anymore, so I destroyed everything. So just announce.
Yeah. So this section will be the actual Finn. It will be Carlo Koivunen, the user Juho, who will send you a lot of pictures of him going to Finnish elite games and Finnish teams, and he's apparently it's not Tampere, it's Tampere. Something like that. I don't know. He's going to make fun of me.
It's like Tampere or something.
Yeah, he gets mad at the way I say it, so I'm going to keep saying it wrong. But congratulations on going to Calgary. You're awesome, and you're going to be a great fit with that team there. And excited to see you go there. And then we have next up the Baltimore Platoon on the clock. I believe this is their first selection of the draft.
Yes,
it has been a wild day for the Platoon. But they are going to take Brandon Gillies, the user Mysterious Fish. I believe he's an assistant GM in the VHL. Fish has been a solid user. I've seen him around. I think he joined a bit late, so his TP might be a little bit lower. But he's going to be a good pick for Baltimore. I think he's going to be a good piece of their forward core moving forward as he ages and helps replace some of the older people.
And I mean, honestly, dedicated user already. A JHO member, or I think just a HO intern. So already someone who has some good job security with a nice solid bank for Baltimore to get a really reliable player.
Yeah, absolutely. And next on the clock, that will bring us to the Montreal Patriots. Again, there's been I don't know if you've noticed, but it's like a buttload of picks this draft.
Yep.
And several teams with, I think 2 teams at least, with just absolutely 0 picks. Shout out San Francisco and Edmonton. But at pick 38, the Montreal Patriots will be selecting Rodrigo Baines, the user Ben Patchy. Longtime Patriot staple, heading back to join CK where he belongs on the Patriots, surprising nobody. It's going to be a great fit for him. I'm sure they love him in that locker room. He loves to be there, and hopefully he can help bring this rebuild forward and get him in a good spot.
I'm sorry, why would nobody be surprised? Nobody isn't even active anymore.
Yeah, but so everything would surprise him then.
Fair.
And you know nothing. Everything's shocking.
I guess.
Yeah, and pick 39 on the clock, and 40, the Forge will have back-to-back selections.
Another goalie.
And the first of them will be a goaltender. It'll be the user Goemba Stole My Money. The user Uber BJ. I think he's a big, don't quote me, but I want to say PBE or ISFL guy. Heading to the Forge. They'll be bringing in a goaltender to hopefully rise up and replace their goaltender as he ages out. As base pack gets older these days, being a 64, 63, something like that. But yeah, should be a good selection for him in the net as they look to move forward with their strategy of having a good team without actually needing to rebuild. And at pick 40, the last pick of the second round, the Philadelphia Forge will also be selecting Cabo Corum, the user Sloppy Painter. Sloppy's a great guy. I'm a big fan of his. He's real fun to talk to. Excited for the league. Had a bit of life stuff hit him last time, so he had to go inactive with his last player. But he's come back and seems to be earning decently, if not max earning. And I'm excited to see what he does with this player and with the Forge. And that will be the end of the second round.
Yes, and as is usual after the end of a round, we will take a short 5 to 10 minute break, and we will be back soon with the rest of this draft, hopefully. Or maybe we'll have to take another break at the end of the third, who knows? We'll see how fast GMs can be now that we're deeper in the draft. So stick with us. We will be back in 5 to 10. Yeah, let's go.